Between last episode and this episode, only one thing has happened throughout the course of basketball, and that is that the schedule's dropped. And I thought it was really interesting. I've read a bunch of articles about it, so let's get into the schedule talk. I want to start off with the national TV games, ladies and gentlemen.
I feel like they should be ashamed. Sorry, Atlanta.
What happened? What, they don't have Atlanta this year?
Trae Young tweeted that.
Oh.
Because, I don't think Atlanta plays.
Because they've been a staple because it's Atlanta.
I seen that they finna have Ja versus Anthony Edwards on MLK Day, though.
It's a lot of really good days of basketball, man. I can't lie. We're going to get to all of that. We're going to get to Christmas schedule, opening day, all of that. But I want to start off with the nationally televised games because I thought that was a good conversation to have because there are some teams that I think have way too many nationally televised games and some teams that don't have enough. The number one team when it comes to nationally televised games, and these are just including ESPN and TNT. So, like, all of these teams have more technically because of NBA TV, but that shit don't count to me. So it's really just really national TV games. The number one team is the LA Lakers. 27 of their games is on national TV. Makes sense. LeBron is getting old. Anthony Davis is still really good. And whether or not the Lakers are successful or not, they're still going to be a fun watch for national TV.
Their games are always exciting because they blow a lead, they come back, whatever. They make a way to have it.
It's supposed to be now that there's no like back-to-back when you have a nationally televised game.
Yes, I saw that.
So I'm interested to see.
Before or after.
Yeah. So I'm interested to see how that affects play. It should affect play a lot, honestly, and talk about rest and everything like that.
Shout out to Greg Popovich for that one.
So we have no excuse for a guy to sit out. Because you got your rest before and you don't get it after. Don't play with us.
Boston Celtics, 26 nationally televised games coming off the NBA championship. Makes sense. The Golden State Warriors, this is a conversation on Twitter a bunch. The Golden State Warriors are third with 24 games. Personally, I don't see a problem with it because Steph Curry is disgusting. And, again, y'all have to remember that these nationally televised games are not for the diehards because we probably going to have a league pass anyway, but it's like for the casual NBA fan, and there's no better person to watch in basketball for a casual NBA fan than Steph Curry.
What was the over on Twitter?
It was say it again?
What was the problem on Twitter?
It was just like the Warriors aren't very good. Why do they have the third teams like that are destined to be contenders have way less than them. But I'm just like, it's Steph Curry, bro. Did you just not see what he did in the Olympics in that last game? That's why you have 24 nationally televised games, and they have 4 championships this decade. So even though the roster's not completely the same, it's still what it is.
How long does it take the NBA to catch up?
It takes a while because there's some of the up-and-coming teams don't have a lot of national. They feel like they're a year or two behind all the time.
Right. And I was saying that in a sense of like, I feel like people should know that we're like, the Warriors have been exciting. They've been like etched in to have nationally televised games for a while now. And because they're not god awful and because they still have Steph Curry and whatnot, I wouldn't expect them to immediately take away all of their games because that's just what the league has never done. You would have to go from championship to like blow it up, we rebuild, and for the NBA to kind of pull that rug from under your feet. We just don't really see. Hell, they still may not. When the Lakers was ass, we still had to watch.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the Jordan Hill teams and Swaggy P, even when they wasn't that good, they still had a bunch of nationally televised games. But I agree. I don't think this is a problem at all for me with the Warriors to have the third most.
How much y'all think? Because, I mean, not just
and they
one
play
team.
late.
Yeah,
it's not a lot of teams that can fill their void.
That's going to say they're already in like that category of just like they fit the time zone and like the teams around them. Honestly, I'd probably want to watch Golden State Warriors.
Would we rather them have that or I'm trying to think of other West Coast teams.
The
Clippers.
Give me the Clippers.
I would much rather have the Warriors over the Kings or Clippers.
Honestly, I would take the Warriors. The Kings are nice, but most nights I'd probably take the Warriors.
Yeah, over the Clippers too.
All those and like you said, it's not for the diehard because we all probably got league pass or they're watching it illegally or something like that.
Yeah.
Steph Curry is a must-see TV.
He really is. I also think when I said that they are a year or two behind, I think they're a year or two behind with the medium and small markets because our next team is the New York Knicks. And I think they're on time with this one, 24, but also the Knicks are the biggest market and one of the 3 biggest markets in basketball. So it makes sense because New York Knicks basketball is like when it's great, it's super electric. The Garden is always going. So they are on time with this one. It's usually like the smaller market
like
teams.
OKC.
Can you
OKC
say that
is a perfect example.
the number between 1 and 2 again, though?
Lakers were 27, and then the Boston Celtics were 26.
Okay. I thought the Lakers had a higher number.
No, it's all really, really close because even the Knicks and the Warriors are both 24. So we're talking 3-game difference. Then number 5, we got the Western Conference champion, defending Western Conference champion, Dallas Mavericks. Makes sense. Kyrie Irving, Luka Doncic, those guys are must-see TV as well. Then you get the Nuggets at 6, the 76ers at 7, and then we get the Phoenix Suns at 8, Minnesota at 9, and then 10, round out the top 10 is Milwaukee Bucks.
So OKC doesn't enter the top 10.
OKC is number 11 with 15. And when you ask a lot of people, they are the favorite to win the Western Conference as of today. Again, haven't seen it on the court, but they got all the recipe other than them still being relatively young. I would want to see more, but obviously, again, I'm a diehard fan, so I'm watching it regardless. So it's not really for me.
For me, growing up, I kind of think I like it because I think that's why they have always been, since they were created and got good, they've always been my favorite team to kind of watch in the playoffs. Because you never really get that chance to see that environment so much because they're never going to be that crazy top watch team or have that much nationally televised games. So then once you get the playoffs and they got the whiteout and the crowd is electric, it's like, oh, I remember when they was first making the playoffs with the young Thunder when it was KD, Russ, and all of them, and they wasn't coming on TV a whole bunch. But when we got to the playoffs, I was like, oh, I didn't notice how they get down. Like this is wild. And I still feel the same way. I was excited as hell last year when they got back into the playoffs because it's like I love their court, number one. I just think they have a really good tone with the lighting, and then the crowd atmosphere is real, real good. And they got those colors that pop with the orange, blue, and the white. But I think that kind of helps them. And just for me, Thunder fans may disagree and want to see them all the time, rightfully so. But I feel like you kind of forget about that environment until the playoffs come. And it's like, oh yeah, they do.
That's the best environment when it's that team that hasn't been to the playoffs like that and it's kind of missing that and they're just ready for it. The crowd be there.
Yeah,
like they gonna be the loudest thing
for real.
We got to see like the Memphis Grizzlies in only 9 nationally televised games, which is just interesting. I think when they're fully healthy, they're one of the most fun teams to watch. But again, the NBA is just a little bit behind there because
their arena.
They're tied with the Pelicans.
Never been.
And the Clippers
from TV. Memphis is kind of dim and dark when I watch their games.
Yeah,
wish it was a little brighter.
That's kind of it. I mean, we got like a team like the Orlando Magic who jumped into the scene this season. They only have 5 nationally televised games. So that's like a conversation of them being a little bit behind when it comes to that stuff. The Houston Rockets, only 3. They were 41-41 last season, went on a really nice run.
Should definitely have a lot more in my opinion, but
and there are a lot of teams with 2 and 1, and all of these things make sense. Do you want to see the Wizards on national TV more than once?
No.
Do you? And the one time they do have it is against the Suns in January. Don't know what that's about. Because usually if a bad team is going to have a nationally televised game, it's either going to be early or there's going to be some type of, oh, you know what, Bradley Beal. That's Bradley Beal's coming back because he didn't play the first time he went to Washington. So that's, okay, because I was going to say usually there's a timeline with the bad teams, and that's it. And then like the Raptors have won against the Knicks again. There's a storyline there. Portland Trailblazers got 1 against Damian Lillard. like that's usually what it is. The Pistons, theirs is against the 76ers.
Tobias Harris.
Oh, a Tobias Harris reunion on national TV is crazy.
Don't say reunion, say revenge game.
The revenge, yeah.
And he had like 40.
Y'all want to know what the Charlotte Hornets one is?
What?
The Mavericks?
Against the Bulls. The Ball brothers. Supposed to be back. They might not be healthy by that time, bro. It's in January.
Say that.
It's
Don't
in
say
January.
that.
I'm just going off history. Just going off history. The Brooklyn Nets have a game against the Knicks, Mikal Bridges.
Course.
And
even
then
without Mikal Bridges.
We get 2 for the Utah Jazz.
They're going to play against some random people.
It's Minnesota.
Okay. For both games?
No, the other one is the Suns.
Watch that be like one of the best games of the season.
It might be, bro. And the Bulls get, again, they have the one game, and then the other one, it doesn't even tell me what the second game. And they trying to figure that shit out on the fly, I guess. But that's pretty much it when the nationally televised game.